Okay, so hello again. Another project review for our NFT talk. We might have a guest coming in. I don't know. If they do, they're going to drop straight into the live broadcast, but that's not a problem. So I've got my special gear on today for this particular one. So going to have a look at the project Run Chicken Run. So precisely about 16 hours old at the moment, and very much a wolfgame derivative on the Solana network. Yeah, fair to say, a bit of a nightmare mint with delays and things like that. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to see where this could go. It's by no means certain in any way, shape, or form, but let's have a look and try and go through some of the mechanics and some of the tokenomics and things like that. So, yeah, the I'm going to stop doing this slide soon, but just inspiration for these. Gary V got me into NFTs and I love it. Gary V talks all about putting yourself out there, so I am. And also I'm a massive fan of the Nifty Alpha, and actually the reason I got into this project in the first place was listening to Easy Eats Bodega on the Nifty Alpha show, who tipped it. I joined the Discord a long time ago. Actually, I was lucky enough to win a whitelist spot, which is probably the only reason I minted, because I don't think I would have otherwise. I probably wouldn't have thought I would have got into this without that whitelist. But the day before, I won a whitelist, and that was amazing. So I got to mint on the whitelist. So yeah, the type of content we're going to do is project reviews, tips and tricks, onboarding information, and AMAs with the project. Obviously, project team for this at the moment are quite busy, and the reason for that will come up in a second. But aim of it is all about making the NFT space safer and better, and hopefully easier for people to join, and trying to get some of the bad actors out. So featuring good projects, or you know, this one's still up in the air at the moment, don't get me wrong, but I like it. I actually minted 5, and I was lucky enough to get 1 fox that you can see there. And I have just before picked up another couple of chickens off the floor. So yeah, it's a project I like. So, you know, obviously, I'm not trying to shill my bags or anything here, but I thought it'd be useful to go over some of the stuff, because I've been in the Discord today and there's been a lot of questions coming up. So it's going to be quite a short one. So yeah, let's talk about the project. So team is not doxed. Not a fan of not doxed teams, or at least they're not fully doxed. The mint yesterday, so due to go live 9 p.m. UTC. I was getting a bit worried because the chat was still going in the Discord, but something happened directly before the mint, and the chat was locked down as a result of it. But basically what happened was, I think someone got a DM with a link before the site was up or anything, before it was minting. And that was a scam site. And I think they were trying to take like 2 SOL out of their wallet for nothing, basically. That was shared into the Discord and obviously caused a lot of worry. As it happens, it was absolutely nothing to do with the team. It was just the thing that you need to be really careful of. If someone DMs you links, you know, you need to be in the Discords, you need to get the official links. But if you follow dodgy DM links, there's a good chance you're going to be in trouble. So there were clearly challenges with Mint. It got delayed a long time. So it actually minted 2 a.m. UTC rather than 9 p.m. And I think one of the big challenges of that as well was that there wasn't really much communication after about 10:30, where they put up the next message is going to be to Mint. So 10:30, that went up. And from then till 2:30, there was not a lot in the way of messages until about 15 minutes before it minted. So clearly there was some challenges in the background they were trying to sort out. If anything, that made me feel more confident about the project, because you'll all know there's been a huge amount of rugs in Solana in the last couple of weeks. And the fact that they delayed kind of give me a little bit of confidence, because it's like, well, if you're trying to rug people, you're not going to hang back. You just want to sell out and run away with the money. So it wasn't great. And the team have actually put something out in Discord and said, hey, we've learned our lesson. You know, we should have communicated more during that period. And they should, absolutely, 100%. But it went live, I think 1:45 maybe for the whitelist, and then 2 o'clock for everyone else. And basically 3,333 minted out in roughly 15 minutes. So not fast, but there were problems with the Solana network. But yeah, not really fast, but it was a 0.69 something mint, which was about 0.70 something with the fees on top. And this is called Gen 0. So these first 333 are Gen 0. The next lots are going to be minted by staking your tokens, your eggs. So it is all about gamification, this particular project. So you've got basically 90% chickens and 10% foxes. Like I say, I was lucky. I minted 5. I got 1 fox. It's unlike me. You're going to then be able to stake those chickens and foxes and earn the egg token. And then you'll be minting Gen 1s with the egg token. And just to say, in terms of the game, foxes have a rating from 5 to 8, 8 being the best. And the impact of that is that you're going to get a greater share of the taxed eggs, and you also got a greater chance of winning any stolen mints that have been done for Gen 1. So that's a little bit about it. The next step, which is all up in the air at the moment, and we'll start to have a look at the website in a second for a bit more detail. But the next step, according to the project team, is that the game will be available within 24 hours of mint. So we're looking at about 5 or 6 hours at the moment to that. Personally, having done a lot of software stuff myself, yeah, I'd say that would be the earliest it could come. And if there were problems, then it's probably going to go back a bit. But the team has been listening in Discord, and apparently they are going to communicate much better than yesterday. So that's a good thing. And just wanted to talk a little bit about the tokenomics, the staking, some of the tax elements and stealing, the risk for your chickens and your eggs in terms of how you decide to go about staking, unstaking, taking your egg. Foxes, not so much risk. There is mention in this white paper of land and expanding your land. Not sure I understand that at the moment. And there's a role of a farmer as well. A farmer is earning and there is taxes in there. And I'm not 100% clear on any of that necessarily. So let's just have a look at the website a second. So just going into here, let's pull up the website, and this is the white paper. So the website is pretty, basic image behind, and it's got the white paper here. So you're going to stake for egg. You've got to keep your eyes peeled for a thief. I mean, it feels like game is a strong word for this. This probably more of a game where you're going to go in and fairly passively earn your tokens, which is good for me because I don't really have time for play to earn necessarily. And you're going to accumulate these egg utility tokens. So minting 0.69420 for 333, all gone now, so they're up on secondary. Gen 1 will all be minted by collecting eggs, as I've talked about before. If a chicken's unstaked from the barn, the foxes try and steal 50% of its eggs, so there's a risk you could lose 50% when you unstake. When a new chick is born, the foxes will attempt to kidnap it. If they do, then a randomly selected fox will get that mint. And obviously that relates back. You've got more chance of getting any of these mints the higher rank your fox is. So rank 5 to 8, it is random, but you've got more chance. So just to talk about where it's going in terms of numbers. So you can see here the 1 to 33, the Gen 0s have been minted. From then on in, 333 to 666 is going to cost you 13,200 egg. Then it's going to double and double again. So 6667 to 10,000 is going to cost you 26,000, 10,000 to 13,334. It's going to cost you 52,000 egg. Total cost to mint all of the chickens is going to be 176 million egg. So just to talk about the chickens and how their staking will work. So entering the barn, there's no risk to you. So staking basically your chicken, no risk at all. Then you're going to collect your egg tokens. And basically, if you choose to collect them, you'll receive 80% of the egg accumulated. The other 20% is going to be what's called a tax collected by the foxes and shared out by the foxes, proportionate on how on their level. So the foxes are going to earn egg from collected egg tokens by chickens. And then the third one, where you leave the barn, and that can only be done if the chickens accumulated 2 days of egg. So minimum 2 days of egg accumulated to leave the barn. And there you've got a 50% chance of your accumulated egg, of all of your accumulated egg being stolen by the foxes. And then stolen egg is split among all the foxes currently staked, proportionate again to their level. So maximum egg supply 333, 3333. When supply reaches 200,000, the staking faucet turns off. Not sure I necessarily understand that exactly, but community rewards will be allocated. So the rest of that will be allocated to the community. So minting gens 1 to 3, the egg is collected by the farmer. Once the faucet closes, the egg skyrockets. So I'm not entirely sure again. And you can earn egg by staking your chicken in the farm. You'll earn a daily percentage from the farmer's supply. A risk of stressing out your chicken, and then there's no egg generated. And then as a fox, you can then start to earn by being on the lookout post, where you'll get 10% from the farmer, or letting him go on hunt for chickens, and you have the risk of losing 50%. So quite complex. I probably need a little bit more time to really analyze this part, the secondary part, which I think is really going to come into effect after they've all minted out. So in terms of the foxes, you only added 10%, or you've got a 10% chance all the way of minting a fox. And they're going to have a alpha value of 5 to 8. And that, as I've already said, affects the proportion that you're going to get from taxes and the increased likelihood of getting a stolen chick or fox that has been minted. So then there's some calculation in here showing how the difference is made between a level 8 and a level 6. I'm not going to go into that in too much detail. And only staked foxes are able to steal a chick or earn the egg tax. And as you can see, for the foxes, in terms of staking, there is no risk. So staking your fox, you're going to earn 20% tax of all eggs that are collected. Claim egg, so you can pull it out. And unstaking fox, all no risks. So quite a lot of depth in there, very similar to wolfgame. I'm no expert on the wolfgame because I didn't get into that one, but quite an interesting gamification and tokenomics in there. On the caveat, I suppose, and this is where I'm going to come to the caveat quickly. So if we just go back to the presentation a second, and just to frame my thoughts. So, yes, so game isn't there at the moment. Game should be there within about 5 to 7 hours at the moment, barring any problems. And I'm really keen for that to happen because so long as the game comes along, I think it's a great project. So yeah, just some thoughts really about the project. So mint, I thought was pretty bad, if I'm honest. Not terrible in the sense of going wrong massively, but just that whole delays and lack of communication. From my perspective, I'd always like a project team to be doxed. Really, yeah, I think if you're going to be serious in this space, you need to stand up and be counted. And if you're going to give people confidence, then you need to stand up and be counted. And genuinely, I believe some of the marketplaces should start making that happen. And I know some of the marketplaces are starting to look at ways that they can do this better, because, you know, we can stop a lot of rugs if suddenly there's accountability rather than disappearing into the space. In terms of the game, yeah, it's a wolf game, it's a whale game derivative. I think it's got a lot of potential. And obviously the importance is that it actually happens. So only time will tell in there. In terms of value, yeah, 1,000 SOL traded in the first 15 hours. So it's up on Magic Eden at the moment and probably worth a little look at the moment. So this at the moment, 1,038 at the moment. Have been seeing some, let's give it a refresh actually. Oh, is that okay? There we go. Oh, yeah, good job I refreshed that. So as you can see, when I got a couple earlier, I'm just going to fully refresh that. As you know, Magic Eden, you need to fully refresh to refresh all the values and activities. So there's a fair amount of trading. You can see some of the foxes selling there. 1.3. Just having a look at that one. Oh, that's a rare chicken with a crown in there. But plenty of trading going on, plenty of activity. Floor at 0.76, so a little bit above mint. It's been above mint all day. I think it went up to 0.95 at one point. Dropped back shortly before this video to about 0.5, and I picked another 3 chickens up at that, who were quite looked quite rare at the floor. Obviously, if you want to look at foxes, they are more expensive because of their increased utility. But if I just stick the filters on for foxes, so you can see each of them has a rating, like Desert Fox is a 5, Forest Fox is a 5, Sapphire a 6, Polar a 6, Shadow 7, Stuff Fox, Evil Fox. So a lot more expensive to pick them up, but obviously a lot more utility. And hopefully, you know, if you're playing the game, if the game comes along, you know, fingers crossed, that's the big if. I'm quite quietly confident, but I wouldn't guarantee to anyone that it does. So yeah, foxes you can pick up for about 5.5. Earlier when they were dropping a little bit, I think probably the lowest I saw them going for was about 4. But if you're going up to the top end to the 8s, I mean, you're looking at a 9.5 sold floor for the lowest one there. I think that's a 7 actually. The red ones are the 8s, so they're at 19 sold. No, let's just have a look over here actually. Yeah, so your 7s are about 9.5. Your 8s are at 19 sold. Your 6s 5.7, and your 5s down at 5.5 at the moment. But who knows where that goes? Depends. If the team maybe have to announce a delay, there might be an opportunity to get them lower. But then obviously the risk is a lot more because they've delayed. So you know, you'd be a little bit more worried. So that's Magic Eden at the moment. Always remember to keep refreshing, so you're seeing the most relevant ones if you're looking. And you can obviously filter and try and find some rarer traits if you want to. In terms of, let's go back to there actually. So yeah, it's an interesting one, this one, because obviously rarity versus utility is a dilemma in here. So rarity does matter in terms of the cost. There are rarer traits. There is a rarity up already on Soul Rarity. You can just go to their Discord server and get it. But that doesn't directly correlate to any utility in the game. So one of the questions that's come up a lot today is, what's the significance of the eggs? So there is a single egg and there is 3 eggs with chickens, and that's come up a number of times. They're actually a rarity trait, according to the team today. They don't have significance in the game. So you've got this situation where rarity does matter in terms of trading, but in terms of utility in the game, it doesn't. So if you were wanting to get in, then you're probably just as good getting one off the floor to play the game as you are trying to find a better one or a rarer one. Obviously, the only difference in the game dynamic is the foxes level. So yeah, that's kind of a bit about their value. I think value of this project versus some of the other derivatives would be gas on Solana. That's the thing that most stands out to me. Solana lends itself to this so well. You're not paying gas to stake and for every transaction. You're not going to have to do that on Solana, or even if you do, it's like a fraction of a cent. Obviously, Fox mints are best if you can get one. They've got far more utility. They are far better and far more valuable. So when it comes to hopefully minting some with your eggs, if you get a Fox, you're golden, really. And in terms of the real value of the project, it's so up in the lap of the gods at the moment. 100% dependent on delivery of the game, and also what the team then do, because there's plenty of opportunity to extend here as well. So if the game doesn't come, this could be, as I put in the verdict there's massive potential, or this could be a massive rug and going nowhere. Only time will tell. I like the way the team have conducted themselves, not necessarily what they've done, but kind of like the way they've been listening and the way they've conducted themselves. As I say, game delivery, absolutely vital to the value of this and whether this is a good project or not. And there has been some chat about liquidity and how liquid will the egg token be and stuff like that, which, if I'm honest, isn't my area of expertise. And the way I'm looking at the egg token here at the moment is kind of the value being what you can do with it in the game, not necessarily trading it, but obviously that's important as well. And I suppose, I don't know at the moment. I haven't seen anything in the white paper about liquidity or anything from the team at the moment. But then, we're sort of 15 hours in. So overall, run chicken. I suppose my advice to you would be join the Discord, see what happens, keep a watching brief until maybe the game announcement comes. And if you want to get in at that point, get on Magic Eden quick before everybody else does, and you might get a good entry point. That's probably the safest route. Obviously, you can go to Magic Eden now and get in if you want, but we're still in that risk area for sure until we start to see the game. No reason to doubt it at the moment, other than maybe, I think there was some expectation of more vision of the game prior to mint, which didn't really happen. There was a couple of screenshots, but again, I work in software projects all the time, and not being in the position to do something when you said, almost like the ambition is the earliest possible time you can get it. So the first stated date is the best case scenario. It's very rare you come forward from that. And it's very common that you have to drop back a little bit from where you expect to be because you hit some unexpected bugs. Just like I suspect happened with the mint yesterday, which caused the delay, because no project team in their right mind is going to keep people waiting 5 hours to mint. No logical reason to do that. If you're a bad project, there's no logical reason. You just put it out there and sell it and run away. If you're a good project, you don't want to pee off the community. And, there were a lot of people obviously waiting a long time, and also some people that just couldn't, it was too late in the day. It was 2 a.m. over here when it happened. So, I'm really positive. I like it. I do like the art, in a weird way. I used to laugh a lot the pixel art, but actually I kind of like it. I like the chickens. I like my fox. Very lucky with that. So that's it. That's really my verdict. Watch this space, coming soon in the next 5 hours or something like that. Just wanted to remind people, I did a little video the other day about NFT giveaways. There's a lot of scams going around for people doing giveaways where people will basically change their profile pic and their name and DM people who put the winners out on Twitter without direct messaging people. So I've just done a video about how you avoid that. Simple changes to your process so you don't get scammed, because obviously it causes a lot of problems, both for the winner, who someone else adopts their identity, gets the prize, and then they go and claim, and then the project team think, they're lying. So yeah, simple steps to avoid that, and we plan to do on more of those as well. So hopefully that's been useful. I didn't say it at all, but please do, if you're watching this, like it, subscribe to the channel, leave some comments, give us some feedback in the comments. That would be wonderful. In the description, there is links to the website, the Discord, and Magic Eden. So if anyone wants them, none of this is advice, financial advice, or other advice. Do your own research, go and have a look. Hopefully this has helped explain some of it. I think there's still stuff to clarify, but yeah, I'm interested to see what happens, to say the least, in the next 5 hours, because I've got them, and I'd really like it to work, because it'd be great to get the first one of these up and running on Solana and for it to go well. So yeah, I'll see you next time. As I say, do like and subscribe. Do leave us comments. I'd love to know what your thoughts were.